to actually go live. All right, there we go. Oh boy, I made a very strange discovery about myself, Yogi. I think Pam from Archer might be my spirit animal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no notes.
Yeah. Highly emotional, easily distracted, you know.
Motivated,
Little gross, you know.
Easily motivated by food, drugs, and sex. Yeah, that's
yes,
you.
yes. Tries to use dolphin puppets to enact sexual harassment scenarios. You know.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Man,
Good.
what is going on what is going on in that outside world? Did I just see Elon Musk and Trump do a Tesla ad on the White House lawn? Did that really happen?
I mean, it's a thing. It occurred.
Yeah, see, all right, just checking. Just checking
no,
because I wasn't sure that I thought maybe I was going insane.
No, that's a thing that happened. That happened. That happened.
Okay.
I do like in general the amount of people committing hateful acts of vandalism against people's Teslas. I approve of this.
I'm very pro. Look, the only person I know who still has a Tesla, who had a Tesla that I cared about is dead. So
there you go.
Have at it, kids.
Elvira sold her Tesla.
Elvira sold her Tesla because she's like, get this thing, get the Nazi mobile fucking out of here.
And she gave the money to charity.
Well, like, I know I keep harping on this. I keep harping on this because there's a part of me that still hasn't accepted it. And I know I should accept it. I know I should accept it because it seems to be the truth. Which is Elon Musk is obviously deeply insecure and deeply, deeply, deeply empty. Because I keep thinking about what it would take for me to do some of the shit that he's done. And I'm like, I would have to hate everything. I would have to be so internally miserable that I can't conceive of that. Like, this is what these people do rather than kill themselves.
See, the thing about Elon is, here's the tea about Mr. Musk, is that we're dealing with a person who think about this for a second.
Okay.
Everything he has ever done has been under the auspice of trying to buy his way into coolness and popularity.
Yes.
That's it. He is literally the richest man on the earth. And for anyone out there who goes like, well, for 20 minutes this one day, fuck you. He's the richest man on the earth. And yet he seems to have none of any of the things that equate to having a joyful life at
No, he doesn't.
Like, he has none of these things.
That's what fucking struck me. That's what struck me, and that made me realize, oh, I could never be Elon. I could never be Elon Musk. I could never behave like him. Because at the end of the day, if I had $4 billion, I wouldn't be trying to take over the United States. I would just be having orgies every day.
Yeah, you would just like kind of fuck off and leave everyone else alone.
Fuck off. You know, I'd buy a fuck island, you know, It would have an age minimum. Because I think that's very important these days. If you get a fuck island, you gotta say like, yeah, you must be this old to even like fucking come in. I don't care, you know, because this is my fuck island. Okay, I don't have no other kind of island, by the way, so don't ask.
This island is made for two things.
Things.
One of which is in the name.
Yep. You know? And maybe we'll even like maybe we'd even have like little areas, like little different separate areas, you know? Like that over there's the furry lagoon. You know, so just so you know, that's specifically for them. You know, and if you're like, I ain't into no furry, well then don't go to Furry Lagoon, you idiot. You know, that's your own fault. If you're like, I went to Furry Lagoon, I had a bad time. Are you a furry? No. Well, you're a moron.
You know, it's really interesting because I find myself in this odd position where I'm not sure if I would identify with any of like my kink abilities or any of my fetish abilities, but I do have many of them. And they spread out. They spread out vastly and widely. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, would you consider yourself a furry or a scaly? And I'm just like, well, I don't know.
All right, I'll be fair. On on my fuck island, that I probably there probably wouldn't be a distinction. That's just for all the cartoonish animal play stuff.
No. I get you. But I get you. But it's one of those things where it's like, would you consider yourself one of these things? And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know. I technically have a Sona, but I created that for my alternate YouTube account. And as like a character over there, but at the same time, it's just like, would you fuck furries? I'm like, I do fuck furries.
Well, there you go.
You know,
well, there you are.
You know, like I do. It's, you know, but at this, while at the same time, just being like, you know, just like, are you a monster fucker? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I would.
Would you fuck a werewolf?
I mean, if the...
Oh, okay, there's already an if. The answer is yes.
I was just going to say, in any of the monster fuck scenarios that I would be willing to engage in, it's just like, okay, I can't die as a result of this, because while dying in ecstasy is a wonderful thing, I'm too young to not want more of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the survival of the sex is definitely implied.
Yeah.
You know,
then yeah.
Will lube be provided within reason? Within reason.
For some, it's more reasonable than others. For instance,
if you use more than a whole bottle a night,
well, okay. You know, now we're getting it.
You probably need to slow down.
Well, hold on. Maybe not. It depends on what type of lube we're talking about and what. Because, for instance, slime fucking is a thing.
Is lube really the best thing for that, or would we want to be using another substance?
They make specialized lube that is specifically for this. Imagine if you would.
What a time to be alive.
Imagine if you would. Two people just essentially artificially making themselves into slugs. And just...
Ew. Maybe you want to go with a different analogy.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine two people just artificially making it so that they are just covered in this, and they just go at it in a fuck pit. This is a thing, and it's rather beautiful. It's rather beautiful, I must say.
Yeah.
I have very little qualms. I have very few qualms about that type of thing. It's just like, it's one of those things of like, is everyone involved here an adult? Is everyone involved here consenting to exactly what they are participating in? Is there a lack of blood, urine, or feces? Then I'm good. That's honestly what it comes down to.
Yeah, I don't know what the rule would be on that. At the very least, it would be, if you don't clean up after yourself, I'm going to get very angry.
You know, it's one of those like weird things where it's like,
if I have to bust out the hazmat suits in order to get it clean, I'm not going to be happy.
Oh, but come on, Jack. Airbnb includes cleaner fees.
Don't make me bust out the hazmat suit. You've gone too far at that point.
You do have to have hazmat people on standby, though. You
yes.
do have to have
yes.
deep cleaners on standby.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just saying there's a difference between, hey, we're taking precautions, and yeah, you got 5 minutes before the fumes start to fucking get to you.
Well, when you put it that way.
Yeah. I am putting it that way. I'm putting this my fuck island. I make the rules. You know? People are like, do we want to have some sort of democracy on Fuck Island? And I'm like, no. Well, maybe a little.
I was about to say, what do you mean no?
Maybe a little. Maybe a little. This does not get carried away. You know.
I mean, I think
remember, it is still Fuck Island.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
if the decision is, do we close Fuck Island? I probably am not willing to put that up for a vote.
Okay, so no. So there is a form of, so basically you're like, no, rule by consensus, except for a few things.
Except for a few things, yeah.
That's fine.
You know, the age limit is also non-negotiable. There is an absolute age limit that can only be raised. You want to vote on raising it? Okay. You want to vote on lowering it? No. No. We're not doing that. I'm not willing to do that at all. Oh, this used to be Epstein's Island. I'm buying another one. This is already that's a problem. I'm afraid that the pedophilia would be in the local spirits or something. You know, like it's gotten into the land and corrupted it. I don't want to fucking.
The genus loci is a pedophile. Quick, kill it.
Quick, kill it. You know, like yeah. You know, but Jack, I thought you had a pretty good relationship with the spirit. No. Yeah, no.
Not that one.
Not that one. I'm not willing to do that. We're not going there. Again, maybe what I really just want is like a house with
the house that fucking built.
Yeah, the house that fucking built. Like I kind of want it to be. I think I would kind of want it to be a little bit like the Disneyland of fucking. You know, like you'd have themed areas, but not like in a fucking bullshit way. Like you actually build like a little fucking pirate ship in there or something.
I'm gonna build my own Disneyland with blackjack and hookers. In fact, fuck the Disneyland.
Man, fuck Disneyland part. You know. Oh God, the mascots for the place would be horrible. My brain just went there. It's like, what would the mascots be like? And immediately I regret it. Like, thank you, brain. Thank you for doing that for me. Hey, no problem.
the mascot for the bar would be that fucking tequila worm from the end of that one Super Jail episode. Hey boys, ride the quarter.
Oh, 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 God.
What has science
It's
done?
done. No, because someone would try to make a mascot that was just a pair of boobs, and then I'd get freaked out. I don't know what it is. If you disembody tits, I'm upset.
Oh, but the areolas will blink at you.
Like I could handle that if it's attached to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you disembody them, and all of a sudden I'm like, please stop. I don't know why, but this bothers me. This bothers me a lot.
In the words of Miss Coco Peru, that bothers me.
That bothers me. Yeah.
That bothers me.
Yeah. Like, for some reason, disembodied penis or vulva, I could take or leave. You know, disembodied boobs would make me very upset. I don't know why. I don't know why it upsets me. I've got a lot of really weird hang-ups, okay? Like, they're not...
You don't fucking say!
Yeah. Yeah. Biblically accurate tit angel.
Oh my god, guys, have you heard that Jack? He's got like some fucking hang-ups, man. Like, have you heard?
He has got
Oh my
hang-ups.
god.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? I'm only human, unfortunately.
Also, I'm not saying that's my woman voice. I'm also not saying that it's not.
Yeah.
I see.
If I had a woman voice, it would just be Dr. Girlfriend, you know? Oh, sweetie. You know?
That's fucking hilarious. I have a dream.
No. What you gotta do is you gotta roll it over the tip, okay? You know, you put it in your mouth first, you put your tongue in. If it rolls out easily, you got it going the wrong way. You gotta reverse that. There you go. Uh-huh. Yeah, just like your mama taught you. Now...
See, I have a dream, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dream, which is that, now you know this, I've been hitting the gym. Again.
Yes, you have.
I've been hitting the gym again. I've been eating a lot of roughage, taking fiber pills. Why? Because slut season approaches. And I must. I, for once in my life, deserve to go to Pride in 6-inch heels with a flat stomach and a fat ass. I deserve this. I deserve to have that reality. Okay, I deserve that.
I'm not saying you don't. You do. You do.
But with that being said, with those goals in mind, I have a dream. I have a dream, which is I would love to, if I get that definition that I want, I would love to go with a couple of friends to, like, I don't know, like Otakon or Anime Next, like some type of anime convention. But I want to go in cosplay as, I cannot remember her name, nor do I fucking care what it is. But I want to go in cosplay as that fucking the blonde female Hokage from Naruto, the one with the really huge tits.
Oh yeah, the one that all the fan art's made of.
Yeah, I want to get, because I have found a drag supplier who makes really good, like completely pure silicone breast forms. Like, those things jiggle the right way. I've seen it.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen some of those too. I've got Instagram. I've got Instagram. I seen it. You know?
So my dream is I want to go in this cosplay, but wearing like a medical mask over the bottom half of my face. So the jawline don't give it away.
Don't give it away.
And when any of these fucking neckbeards come up and just go like, oh my god, fucking picture. I wanna do it so bad. I just want to be like, oh my god, yeah, sure. And then after the picture is taken, just go, that was fucking awesome.
What was that?
Just be like, fucking thanks, that was awesome, dude.
Thank you. That was awesome. This is great.
I want to ruin people's day. I want to be hot and ruin people's days. That's what I want from my life.
Probably the worst part. This was the only problem I ever had. Like, yes, puppy? That I ever had, like, doing drag. This is the only real problem. Which was, of all the people that could be touching my ass right now, why this one?
See, don't touch the girls. Don't touch the girls.
No, please don't.
Hi, were you invited? Were you invited?
Yeah, were you
by
invited?
The performer?
Did I even give you a look? Did I even acknowledge your existence? The answer is no. Then no touching.
It's like, were you invited by the performer to in some way interact with the performance? If the answer is no, then don't. Stop having your fucking heterosexual goddamn bridal showers at gay and drag bars. Go away. You ask any drag artist, I'm serious, you ask any drag artist, and you go up to them and you go, how do you feel about the woo girls?
The what? Oh,
the woo girls. They'll stare at you like they're having fucking Vietnam flashbacks. All right. And if anyone out there is like, who are the woo girls? Oh, they're the ones you hear coming down the street.
Woo! Yeah. I remember I was at a show with Sadie Satanas. I wasn't in a get up or anything. We were just like, we were there to watch the band.
Yeah.
And there was this girl who, for some reason, was constantly trying to dance with Sadie, but was too drunk to do so. And we were just sitting there, and I'm like, wow, this is the most white girl wasted I've ever seen an individual be. This is kind of sad. Please stop. Go away.
Go off to your own little corner of damnation. Be gone.
Yeah. I was like, please go. Please, over there. There. Yes. Yeah. You know, and the thing was, even as a guy who's into girls, I was like, yeah, please leave us alone. Go away. I am neither flattered nor interested. You are annoying me.
See, Riggs83 in the chat brings up a good point. Ask yourself, would Keanu Reeves do that? If the answer is no, don't do it.
Well, the other thing that like weirds me out is when it's the straight looking guys that do it. That like will just that would like just touch my ass, and I'd just be like, and you're not sure what to do. And I wasn't sure what to do.
Slap 'em.
Yeah, I was just so surprised it was happening. You know, because it was one of those like, look, this isn't all that convincing, and yet this guy is doing it. And he looks like he is straight. Or at least is or believes himself to be. Get your hand off me. Get your hand off me.
It's not welcome.
It's not welcome. I don't want you to do it. Yeah, please don't. You know. Are you are you a twink that also are you a twink that is also dressed like a girl? Then don't. The answer is just no. Please don't do it. It's very upsetting.
But I mean, but that's the thing, right? It's like just like I was making a move. There are literally several steps.
There's so many steps between nya and ya, and like I said, like didn't even make eye contact. Hand went right for the ass. I didn't even know he was there.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. You know, I was just like, I mean, his friends made him leave the party, which I was very happy about. Because he was like, he looked like an ex-military guy or a military guy.
Ugh.
And I was like, no, I'm not interested in this kind of dude. I'm just not. I'm really not. You know. Oh, I had a realization today.
Oh no. What was that?
I thought
mm-hmm.
because I had heard this all the time that I had an anger problem. Now, I do get angry. And I do express it. But everyone around me acted like it was like coming out of nowhere and out of control. And then I realized something today, listening to other people's like anger problem stories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I may or may not have an anger problem, but this is entirely based around the way I am treated. Like, entirely. Some people just have no control over it whatsoever.
Yeah, like you have an anger problem in the sense that your anger is a trauma response.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I thought you knew that. My bad.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that there were some people who literally look like they literally can't control their anger at all.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's very strange, you know.
It's like I'd say like I wouldn't say that you had necessarily like an anger problem. If I was going to be, how honest do you want me to be right now?
All right, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go for broke. Go.
Okay. You have a fucking stubbornness problem. I'll say that.
Okay.
You have a problem being stubborn. And when I say that, please understand what I'm saying here is because, and here's the thing, this is something that all people have to a certain extent, right? Because the Homo sapien evolved through suspicion and deception. The reason that we got rid of the Neanderthals is by killing most of them, because we are literally our species, our particular human like subspecies.
The Cro-Mag, yeah,
like,
the ones related to the Cro-Mag.
Yeah, like our fucking whole thing is we got our edge through brutalism and suspicion, and that requires an air of stubbornness. That requires the ability to be suspicious and say no to any and all new information. Now, and that's the thing, right? Like this is kind of why, like, in the words of Terry Pratchett, the human beings are where the falling angel meets the
It's the
rising
rising
ape.
ape. Yeah, yeah.
Between that dialectic is the human experience, right? So we all have an issue with stubbornness. I would say that you have a notable issue with being stubborn in the sense that here's the, you are a smart person, and the problem is you are aware that you are a smart person. So sometimes new forms of information, plus also you have like baggage from trauma, so new information gets kind of a side eye from, yeah, it
Okay.
gets a
All
side
right.
eye from
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and and here's the thing, like, again, nobody's fault, just a thing. You also have issues with depression, and depression is a self-defeating cycle,
Yeah.
and so it helps feed into the stubbornness, right? Like
Yeah.
this is a mutually destructive Ouroboros, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
go,
yeah,
go
yeah.
going around. So I would say that is a problem that you have as a person. But I wouldn't say that you have an anger problem. You may have a quick temper in certain things, but your quick temper is related to your perception of how you are being treated or
Yeah.
how others are being treated unfairly. That's where your anger comes in. And that's also because of like the trauma of your upbringing. This is a it's an overinflated sense of justice as a defense mechanism, both of
Yeah, I think
self
that's
and
fair. I think that's
yeah,
fair. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say you have an anger problem in the way that, like, the people who literally can't control their anger and scream their way into having a fucking heart attack. Like, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or people who just start fights. Like, not even like that's the one that got me. Where I was like, wait, there are people who just start fights?
Yeah.
Like, they create a fight situation so that they can get into a fight, verbal or otherwise.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, like physical, I kind of got that. I kind of get it's sort of, but I'm like, take a martial arts class, man. They will let you wail on someone for a bit, but the idea that, for example, you would start a fight with your significant other and get into this absolute screaming match where everyone's being histrionic. But I want to avoid that. I like avoiding that because holy shit.
What's even better what's even better is the people who, like, they will just start a fight with their significant other, and then when it surpasses, however it plays out, once it plays out, then gaslight their significant other into saying, what are you talking about, that didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that's different from the anger issue.
Oh yeah,
That's a separate form of like manipulation.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm just saying it's so great when you get the double whammy.
Oh God, yeah. But like, yeah, I didn't realize that everyone just told me I had an anger problem, so I figured I just did. And I didn't question it. When really what it was is that I was angry at them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I will also say that, like, yeah, no, how to put it, like, when people like legit have like an anger problem, it's like, yeah, that's because like and you'll notice, right, these people who legit have like straight up like anger issues, they have one of two emotional settings. It's either screaming match angry or manically ecstatic.
they go real. I've seen people go back and forth between the two, and it's really fucking crazy.
God, that must be frightening.
It is. It is. It is. People. A lot of people who have anger issues literally don't have a chill. They do not have a calm setting. They just don't fucking have it.
Oh, geez.
It's really fucking bizarre. Like how to put it? It's one of those things where I'm just like, it's one of those things where I look at, I'm like, I've dealt with manic, depressive, bipolar people. This is fucking crazy though. Like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I'll have to keep my eye open for that. You know, man. Oh, well, I also got to start like visiting one of my other comic shops as opposed to the one closest to me, because the person that I liked at the old comic shop doesn't work there anymore.
Oh,
and now I have to deal with the owner again, who I do not like. I do not like him. I keep trying to find ways of not wanting to just shoot daggers at him, but it keeps not happening. So I am giving up on this relationship. Because I went back to the store because there was a new person at the front. Because if that guy just wants my money for valuable goods and services, that's cool. But if I have to talk to him, we got a problem. You know, it's to the point where it's one of those, man, I don't even want to go up to the counter and say, ring me up, because he might talk back. He might respond verbally. I don't like this guy. I do not like him at all. And I am also heavily suspicious of the fact that he fired this gal. Well, I don't know that he... Let me put it this way. They say she moved on, but I'm like... Did she?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. But I do notice that a lot of the queer books are now closer to the back of the store than they were when she was here. And that does not say good things.
It does, however, say sabotage.
Sabotage. Yeah. And I find myself going, I hope you go under. I hope you fail. I hope you fail and that your business goes to one of the other two shops. I just wish those other two shops weren't such a bitch to get to. Because the reason this guy's still in business, I guarantee it, is his store's easy to get to. I guarantee you. He just has the best location.
See, it's one of those things, Jack, where when it comes to like being forced to deal with people like this through like transactional relationships and interactions, I have found personally that it benefits me to craft a Miranda Priestley persona.
Really?
Oh yes, no, absolutely. If I recognize, like for instance, right? Like here's an example.
Yeah, now you are talking Miranda Priestley, Glenn Close from Devil Wears Prada, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just so we're on the same page.
You have no sense of style. Well, I don't really. No. That wasn't a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Like for instance, let's say for instance, I had to go into this comic shop and I knew that this man was going to ring me up.
Let me put it this way. If I did not tell you who he was or what he looks like, if he was there and he rang you up, we would leave the store and the next thing you would say was, that was the guy, wasn't it?
terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying. So if I was in this situation, first of all, sunglasses always on, because eye contact is for people who are worth it. Sunglasses always on. Come up to the counter, ring bell. You know, however the fuck attention is gotten. If he comes up and says something just like, just these, yeah. Well, yeah. Would you?
No. You don't understand. I don't even want to hear him ask me for my card, for my credit card, or my money. I don't want to hear him tell me how much it's going to cost. Like I am serious, because like there are two interactions I have had with the guy, passable and bad. And we found out last night that the guy has a YouTube page. No, I am not telling you what it is.
Thank you. I didn't need to know.
Yeah. I'm still fucking mad. I am still fucking mad. Because, like, maybe I do have an anger problem. But no, but I definitely don't like this guy. And I am annoyed that he let go of this person, because it was like, oh, hi. Hi, human being. I like buying things from human being. I don't have to feel like a fucking Martian. Plus, like, could he say you know, one of those people where you're like, could you say something nice? Could you just? To the point where I like, if I'm in the store and he's dealing with a customer, I'm like, well, that's a sale he ain't making. Because I can fucking tell. Because you just listen to him and you're like, dude, you just convinced the guy not to buy anything. The hell is wrong with you? If the guy wants to know, if the guy is shopping for a little kid, you ask questions. And then you trust that it's gonna be okay. Don't go into the details of what may or may not be objectionable about the book. We're talking about Transformers. Kids into Transformers. There's a Transformer comic there. Dad is willing to buy it. Don't argue with him.
See, I should never be allowed in spaces like the one you're describing.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't be, because to be perfectly honest with you, I'll do that thing. I'll do that thing. You know that thing. That thing that I can do that like that most like femme identifying queer people can, or femme aligned queer people can do, which is to completely destroy your self-confidence with a comment.
Yeah.
I will out of pocket turn to this man with an arched eyebrow and go, you know, shampoo exists, and then just walk away.
Yeah, well, he's not a dirty guy.
And no. It doesn't have to be true.
Oh, it doesn't have to be true. Oh,
it doesn't have to be true.
Oh,
it doesn't have to be true. Chuds are chuds. It doesn't have to be true.
Yeah, the guy's definitely a chud.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be true.
Yeah, why was he? Yeah, don't ask me. Don't ask me, cute little cat girl. I have no fucking idea. This is one of those things with like, I would never say that to somebody. Like, is it porno? No? Good enough. Now shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, take the money, make change, say goodbye, have a good day, come again.
There's there's a local game and comic book shop. We have several in the area, but there's one that I've been told I'm not welcome back at. because I heard one of the co-owners who, I'm not saying the guy's an incel. I don't know that, but he definitely
you don't
has,
know that, but but you are saying 2 + 2 = 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I once, he was going off on this like tirade, and I stopped listening halfway through it and just started thinking, all right, doesn't matter what it is. What is my response going to be? Because it wasn't even directed at me. It was directed at this like young woman who had come into the shop.
Oh.
And I just happened to be nearby. And after he stops like talking at her, I just kind of take a beat and I go, yeah, so you've never fucked.
Yeah.
Just dead eyes at the guy. Just like,
yeah.
So you've never virgin, huh?
I could see it. That's what all this
and this man got very red in the face and went away. And then I took my purchase and also went away. And the next time I came in, I was told I was no longer welcome. And I was like, oh no, I'm no longer welcome in the Cheeto den.
Yeah.
I'm no longer welcome in the land of Frito-Lay scented hoodies. Oh no.
And this is something I discovered. People who flex power are deeply, deeply miserable. And I hadn't really understood that before. I knew it to be true intellectually. But now having seen more and more of it on display, because let's face it, in the current political climate, how can we not? It's that realization of like, wow. It's like what I was saying before, that precipitated Fuck Island, which was, this is what you choose to do? This? Like, why? Oh, right, because you're a miserable piece of shit. What else have you got? None of the money that you have can make you cool or desirable. And the thing is you were so brain dead, you didn't even realize when you had it or what to do with it if you got it. How? And I just keep coming back with, well, they're not. I think they're a different subspecies of humanity. I think they're on a different evolutionary path. Because I can't conceive of this shit. Yeah, damn, bro, you live like this? Yeah. Yeah, like that. I meet people like that all the time, and I'm like, why? And it seems like they just can't help themselves, so I keep thinking, oh, they must lack the gene expression that tells them what to do in certain situations that are instinctual to me. And then people, but then, if you talk about how like brain dead their fucking behavior is, some people will start coming up with excuses. Well, he's autistic. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with it.
Here's the thing. That
has nothing to do with it.
As someone who works with autistic people, as someone who is dating someone with autism, as someone who may technically be partially on the spectrum, I don't know, that still has to be a thing that gets tested. I'm not entirely sure, but I know I've got that added real bad. As someone who's in this position, I get very offended when anyone tries to explain away anyone's horrendous behavior
Yeah.
to being autistic. I'm like, wow, way to be a fucking ableist piece of shit.
Yeah, because it turns out being autistic is not a personality issue.
No,
It
it's
really
not.
isn't.
It's not.
You know, and I think that's what kind of got me about when everyone was like, well, Elon Musk is autistic. And I'm like, there are tons of autistic people that know what a Hitler salute is, okay?
Elon Musk is autistic. Yeah, and he went to the inauguration on ketamine. I don't give a shit. He did that, by the way. That's the thing he did.
I just see here's what I don't understand about that man's brain chemistry. How much do you have to be on ketamine that often and not just be in a hole?
See, can I be perfectly honest with you?
Yeah.
I think we should never have let straight people have ketamine. I'm very serious. There are a lot of party drugs that I really think should be strictly kept out of heterosexual hands.
I remember when ketamine was just that drug, the dude sitting on the couch like this was on.
Yeah.
Like it was okay then. It was like, is he okay? Yeah, he's on ketamine. He's just gonna be doing that for a little bit.
Oh my god, no. Have you seen this fucking thing? What is it? Fucking Mind Bloom or whatever it is? It's like ketamine therapy. Have you fucking seen this shit?
I have, and I actually know several people who've done it. It seems to really help. Now, I find myself going, I'm an acid head, so none of the stories that they have really surprise me, because I'm like, well, I've done the LSD, so I
Jack,
don't think that the psychedelic effects of ketamine can't really top that.
You and I are both veteran candy flippers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's
and the bass drops.
Yeah. What's candy flip? Candy flips where you take LSD and ecstasy, aka Molly, at the same time or within the same period. Because let's face it, one lasts 2 to 4 hours, the other lasts like 8 to 12.
And one leads into the other.
One definitely can lead into the other very, very easily. You know, that's when you start getting into my face is melting. You know? That's when that shit starts happening.
It's okay, though.
Yeah, it's okay, though. It's going to be fine. It's also like, for me, it's the most horny I can ever get. It's pretty horny. Jack, what are you doing? It's like, I'm making love with the spirit of the table. Would you stop doing that?
Why?
Why? She's saying keep going. Rub my hard wooden surface. Oh, yes. It's smooth right there.
Jack, don't come in your
Jack,
pants.
are you fucking Jack? Are you trying to psychically fuck the lamp? No.
Well, no. The answer is no, because trying
implies it's not working.
So no, I'm not trying. I am very much succeeding.
Oh man, doesn't S have really bad hangover? Oh, well, okay. So here's the thing with ecstasy. the hangover of ecstasy gets worse the more that you do. I mean, actually, that's pretty self-explanatory. Trying to figure out how to put it. The hangover from ecstasy is it lasts longer. Like the recovery period after ecstasy can be like days. Now, it's not painful, but it can be depressive. And you're very, 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 very tired.
It's why I don't really do it that much anymore.
Yeah. Like that's exactly the reason I don't as much either, because it's like I don't have 3 days to recover.
Yeah, no, I stick with weed, acid, and shrooms. This is what I stick with.
Yeah. Now, is there sometimes I'm not saying I'll never do it again. I'll just say that it will be one hell of a party. Because that's how that happens. You're just like, dude, we are so high right now. Dude, it's only 11 o'clock, man. Holy shit.
We've got several more hours.
We got several more hours to go. What do we got hanging around? Well, we got ecstasy that just came in from Denver. Sounds good. Sounds perfect. What are we doing in the next 3 days? Nothing? Awesome.
I'll be honest with you, my dude. My brother in Christ. I will be perfectly honest with you. Because I don't know if you can see behind me, I got my little Dionysus altar back here in the room.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you. The past several days of Dionysia have really made me realize.
Yeah.
The next time we party together.
Yeah.
I got to bring him in.
Oh, please do. Please do.
I got to bring him in.
I am very bad at summoning up that energy. I don't know why.
Are you really?
I am, and I don't know why. Like, I can invoke it in myself, but I can't seem to get that to transfer to anything else. You know, because I myself am kind of always like kind of half there.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, I don't exude the right energy. I think I'm just too nervous and excitable. If you know what I mean.
I do. Because I've seen it. I do.
Yeah.
All right, so the next time,
like I might have made a pretty good main ad, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to be Orpheus next time? Do you want me to call him up? Do you want me to?
Yeah. Because I think I do need somebody else to actually like do that, because like I've been missing that energy, you know.
I have a Thyrsus. I can bring it.
Oh, excellent. Oh, and Flashman just showed up. Like there's there's another. See, that's a sign.
The circle.
Circle's
the
complete.
The circle gathers. See, that's the kind of shit you got to be able to do.
Yeah, I think. Excuse me. Oh, they're asking about your cat, your little sun god.
Oh, what are they asking about him?
Oh, they're just wondering how he's doing. Oh,
he's all right. He's currently, is he in his? Yeah, he's in his cat tree apartment at the moment, just going like, nah, mother is in there screaming at the television again.
by the way, it is Horror Guru's birthday, so everyone who has a Blue Sky account, go wish him a happy birthday for me.
Oh,
I mean, I already wished him a happy birthday, but like, you know, you can do it too. You know, Films used in the Count Jackula show intro. The
Let's
Devil's
see.
Reign, Haxes, Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny, Lucifer, Altered States, Beetlejuice, The Devils, Lair of the White Worm, From Dusk Till Dawn, Santa Claus. Santa Claus? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Rosemary's Baby. Oh, you're missing one. You're missing one. Actually, you're missing two.
The fact that you got all those,
but they're all, but you got all, but all the others, they're all there. You're absolutely correct. No, wait, hold on. 3. There's a third one. There's a third one that you didn't get, but all the ones that you mentioned are definitely in there. I even know which clips you're talking about. I should. Howling 2. Oh shit, 4. You're right. There's a fourth one. But see, we already told you that one was Howling 2, so what are the other 3? Yeah, it was, I didn't realize his birthday was so close to yours as well. Yeah, hey Yogi, why does Hinduism, a multiverse in the universe is millions of years old? Wait, what?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Might need to restate that question, because...
Yeah, so are you asking... Oh, is Hobo with a Shotgun in your intro?
No. Not the regular one. Not the regular one.
It wasn't the Christmas
It
one.
wasn't the Christmas one. Yeah. That one featured prominently in the Christmas one because he shoots a Santa Claus in the face.
Yeah, number name. If you could just like re-clarify the question, I would love to be able to answer. I just need a little more clarity as to exactly what it is you're asking.
Yeah. For some reason, cute little cat girl wants us to narrate Nancy comics. I don't know what that is. I think she's just fucking with us at this point.
I think now, of course, my favorite Rosemary's Baby clip that you use in your entire show is one of your donation alerts.
God is dead.
Satan lives.
Actually, for some reason, one of my favorite. I don't know why. I really love the way when Laura Louise is like rocking the baby too fast, and Roman says, "Go sit with the others, Laura Louise." I don't know why, but the way he says that is I always thought was super cool.
But Roman, she's likely to go
sit with the others, Laura Louise.
Because it's very much a tone of, bitch, I have successfully been the high priest of Satan. I did what my dad fucking couldn't. Do not fuck with me.
Yeah, do not fuck with me. I have succeeded where all others have failed. Although I have a soft spot in my heart for the sequel to Rosemary's Baby. It is not a good movie.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's not a good movie, but it is so crazy. It's like Exorcist 2: The Heretic. You know, I'm like, is this a good movie? No, it's not. But is it kind of amazing? Yes. The fact that it exists and this is the state that it arrived in is kind of a little miracle.
See, I'll be perfectly honest. You're not.
Look
wrong.
what happened to Rosemary's Baby. Yeah.
You're not wrong, but I will say that when it comes to my opinion of you're not wrong. My personal opinion when it comes to the concept of like watching the film more than once definitely comes down to the whole notion of just like it's like look like mommy, look, I want whatever happened to Rosemary's Baby. Holds up a copy of Simon King of the Witches. We have whatever happened to Rosemary's Baby at home.
No.
We don't need it. We have it at home.
You want to watch all the Stepford Wives sequels? Oh, they're bad. Oh, they are bad. The Stepford Children is bad. It's real bad.
The only thing aside from watching the original Stepford Wives that is worth watching is the remake, because that is just camp.
Yeah, it's super
just
camp.
It's just pure camp.
I wish I had been prepared. Like, okay, here's my problem with my only real problem with the Stepford Wives remake. I wish it had just been. I wish it had just been done by John Waters. I love Frank Oz, but fucking John Waters would have knocked it out of the park.
I actually have I have one true gripe with the film.
Yeah.
Which is, are they robots or is it implants? Make up your mind.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, are they robots or not? You have to pick one. They either are robots, okay, no problem, or they're not, okay, no problem, but they can't be robots in one scene and then not robots in another.
Correct.
Yes, we have the exact same problem with that movie.
Yeah, but honestly, here's the thing. Except for that inconsistency, I thoroughly enjoy the rest of it. It is just pure camp cheese, and I love it. That's like the Massimo.
Doggy. You met a new person today. My friend Chris came over, and he barked at Chris, and then wanted to be pet by him, and then kept barking at him, as is custom.
Question: has the fact that their dog loves you guys so much, has this endeared you to the people upstairs? Because it should.
Well, it has unfortunately not fostered a connection. But I'm not going to stop petting the dog because of that.
I'm just saying, people, if your animal loves a neighbor or a set of neighbors specifically, and then you don't at least respect them for that, you're an idiot.
Oh, doggy, 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 doggy. Doggy, 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 doggy.
Oh, the scritchies.
I know, all the scritchies. Furry Buddha Massimo has arrived.
Furry Buddha.
Furry Buddha. The Buddha has arrived. I feel like
he says Bork.
Bork.
the new Buddhist canon. Just one word on a scroll. Bork.
Bork. Oh, be in the moment with the puppy. Oh, look at him. He doesn't even know. He's not even. You got not a care in the world right now. Oh.
No thoughts.
No thoughts. Although you are wondering why I stopped scritching you momentarily. Clearly.
No thoughts. Head empty. Moisturized. Unbothered. In my lane.
Oh my God. Woo! Hey, say hi to all the people. Say hi. Oh. No. No, you're just being a floof.
You're
just a floof. We need an animal movie where the two neighbors put aside their differences to rescue a cat and dog from the clutches of a rogue chaos deity.
Wasn't that part of the plot of Son of the Mask?
Well, it probably was, actually, now I think about it, because there was a dog in that one. Because of that one dog scene that they had in the first movie. And that, what, okay, so now, what the hell was that?
Well, what do you do?
Okay, so he jumps onto the bed, rolls over once, growls, and then takes a seat looking at me.
Yeah.
It was one of those like,
yeah.
He's still doing it.
Because he wants play.
Well, then why'd he run over there?
Because he wants you to engage.
Oh, he wants me to go over there. Oh, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
they're really not kidding when they Jack. They're really not kidding when they say that like. And now he's just content to like be on the bed now because he's moved to like that spot, so he's closer to you. But now he's on the bed, but also aware, so he's fine.
So now he's good. Now he's good.
Now he's contemplating himself in the mirror every so often.
Do dogs
so.
recognize themselves in mirrors usually?
No, they bark at them usually.
Oh, so he doesn't. Oh, he went outside. I guess the neighbors came home. You know,
Probably.
Oh yeah, that light's on. Yeah, there we go. Maybe he wants you to tell him to get off the bed again. No, that's a cat response. You know, it's like, tell me to get off the bed again. I dare you. I dare you. I ain't gonna do anything. I just want you to do it. Dance for me, monkey.
Dance for me, hairless ape.
Hairless ape. You know.
I got a special wake up call this morning. I got a special wake up call this morning because I had the absolute audacity, because I stayed up a little too late last night because a friend who I hadn't talked to in a while called, and I was already I was already in bed, and I was just like, that's fine. I can be on the phone and like still make bedtime because I'm in bed. No, I didn't. It was the conversational affect of doom scrolling late into the night. It was like I didn't. So I had the audacity this morning to turn off my first alarm and go right back to bed. Because I was like, nah, I showered last night. I don't need to actually get up this early right now. It's fine. I can wait for the second one to go off. So I had the audacity to do this.
Oh dear.
And so so my bed right here, my dresser is like right over there. And it's within jumping distance of the mattress. So I got the special wake up call of I'm laying in bed.
Oh no, you okay?
Yeah, no, microphone just fell. I'm laying in bed and I had the special wake up call of like flying leap from the dresser. And I wake up in the traditional manner of you know, and I turn and I look, face right there, eyes looking directly to
I have arisen with the sun. All bow down and worship me. Oh,
and it was just a moment of just, okay, I guess I'm awake now.
I guess we're awake now. I guess we're doing this. Oh, God.
It's very funny. I told that story today at work, and like one of my students was like, well, your cat shouldn't do that. And I'm just like, oh,
what?
Oh, you're simple. God bless your little
What
heart.
do you mean cats shouldn't do that?
Your cat
It obeys no laws.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, do you have animals at home? And he just goes, I have a dog. And I'm like, yeah, it's not the same. Not how this works. It's not how this works.
You cannot. You do not train a cat the same way you train a dog. A dog is willing to listen to you in the first place. This goes a long way towards getting the dog to change its behavior. However,
cats require negotiation.
Yeah, that's more of a negotiation. And by the way, all dog training goes out the window if they get jealous of another dog. I seen it.
I know what happens. See, that's kind of the wonderful thing about like when you are able to train cats, because cats will hold on to their training as a way to prove their intellectual superiority over other beings. It's quite nice, actually. Yeah, no, like, the way I've described having a cat to people who don't have a cat is like, okay, you have to imagine that there is another human in the house that is this big and has 4 legs and doesn't speak English. That is what this is.
Yeah.
This is not your. I don't call him my pet. I don't, because that feels wrong somehow. Beyond simply the fact that he's actively engaged as a familiar at this point whenever I do weird shit in the house. No, dude, like I told you, man, like first day he came here, he was not having any of that, like, I need to stay in one room and get acclimated. He wasn't having any of that shit. Bold as brass, just went fucking whatever the fuck he wanted. None of this acclimation hiding shit. Absolutely none of it. Knew where the ritual room was. Automatically. Went up to it first thing. Started scratching on the door to get in it. Opened the door. He ran in. Jumped up onto the altar table. As if he knew where it was. And curled up on it. And I went, well, shit. And I told you about that whole incident that he had where I was like reading like a demonology and witchcraft book and he turned the page to a thing. I told you this,
no.
right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, no. So he's on a different level. He's doing different shit. But so first of all, he didn't like that. But also, just in general, with cats, I'm like, no. This is a roommate. You are not an owner. You may be an owner of a cat in a legal sense, according to the law, because of how the law sees animals. You are this being's owner. You are a guardian and a roommate. That's what you are. It's oddly been more fulfilling. Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up with dogs. I love dogs. Dogs are great. But this is a different fucking thing.
Man,
oh my god.
You know something that I
Also, a pro tip to all the ladies. A pro tip to any women or femme identifying people. Actually, no, anyone out here who for some reason is attracted to men.
Hey, you're attracted to men.
Yeah, I know. This is a standard I have for myself as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a hypocrite.
Well, just checking.
Yeah. If he actively says, I hate or I don't like cats, but I love dogs, red flag. If a man hates cats but loves dogs, red flag.
How come? How so?
Because if you start to quiz them on, well, why don't you like cats? Why do you hate cats? It really always boils down to, if you analyze what they're saying, whatever their response is, 9 times out of 10, it boils down to essentially, well, a dog is just so unconditionally loving. And like cats are like cold or blah, 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 all this other stuff. If you really start to analyze what they're saying, what it boils down to is, the dog, which has been genetically bred to implicitly trust humans until a human proves itself untrustworthy. And even then, it still usually won't turn on its master. So you don't like animals that set boundaries. You don't like having to earn love, respect, and affection. You like something that just automatically listens to you and automatically devotes itself to you. You are kind of fucked.
I never really thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh.
I literally judge when new people come into my home, be it for a liaison and a tryst, or be it just like people being invited to my home. Um, I I do make a legitimate judgment based on how my cat reacts to the new person, but also how the new person reacts to my cat.
Yeah, I could see
Now, I
that.
would be remiss.
He legit works as a litmus test for me about whether I want another human being in my house or not.
Gotcha. Now that makes sense. I'm also like one of those. I was always one of those people when people were like, "Oh my god, she doesn't like my pet. What do I do?" And I'm like, "Break up." Break up. They come with the pet. If they can't handle that, they need to go. I came with pet. You have to be okay with this. What psychotic asshole is going to say either it's your pet or me?
Someone who's about to leave.
Yeah, someone who's about to be walking out that door. I'll tell you that right now. You know? Yeah, allergies don't count for purposes of this.
Yeah, because one, that's a medical issue. That's not you actively disliking an animal. That's a medical issue. And also, as Flashman points out, a lot of people who are allergic to cats still love them.
Yes. Yes.
Which is true. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely missed a question. So, okay, why does Hinduism have a multiverse, and why is its version of the universe millions of years old? Because that's true. I don't know how else to tell you that. It's like, well, because it's true.
I think. Well, you got to have a number that starts somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the real answer. It's like, why is it millions of years old? It's like, because they said it was. You know, because that sounds good, right? And also, it is pretty old.
Because
you know,
it's because here's the thing.
There is a notable difference between something that is at least 5,000 years old and one that is less than 2,000.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, because this is true of the ancient Indian civilization. This is true of the ancient Chinese civilizations. This is across the board. That this is true of there. I don't know how else to put it. Climate and weather and how it affects different biome structures has definitely played a big part on when and how far philosophy goes in certain areas of the planet.
Yeah.
It really has. Because if we're talking about a place where, hey, it's mostly lush and green and wet, and food just kind of grows here.
Yeah.
You kind of, I don't know how else to put it. If you're not in a climate that's trying to kill you every 5 seconds, you kind of have the luxury to advance in your thought forms.
Well, also, the types of like mind altering substances that are in the area will also have an effect.
That's another thing, right? Like the types of psychoactive, like naturally occurring psychoactive chemicals that occur are going to be different.
Yeah, but
so
for example, like those that grow in the area that we call India, and in that area, are really good at creating a sense of timelessness.
Mm-hmm. And it's also so through a mixture of like the right psychoactive chemicals being discovered, and also the ability to develop essentially develop like the right amount of leisure time and space to have an advanced like philosophical debate and discussion. um Essentially you get people sitting around thinking long enough and hard enough about certain things that they come to very similar conclusions that modern science comes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think really what it comes down to is that idea of like it's millions and millions of years is an attempt to kind of narratively simulate the experience of timelessness.
Mm-hmm.
What Joseph Campbell refers to as eternity. Joseph Campbell once said, eternity is not forever. Eternity is eternity.
Different ballpark.
Yeah, different ballpark. It's a very different thing, and it's hard to explain to someone if they haven't experienced it. You know, there is this language among psychedelic users, heavy psychedelic users, which is a bit of an inside joke, which is how many eternities was that? You know, because you've been in this state of being without the idea of time for a long, like you lose track of time to the point where it seems to expand or contract. You are only aware of your own internal clock and have no expectations of how time passes outside of it.
You humans are all the same. Just because something you don't think enough. Just because something's really, really big just does not mean it can't be really, really small.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I think that the cycles of Hinduism are trying to talk about, which is everything moves kind of at its own pace, but they're trying to describe like revolutions of things.
I really do hate to say it. I also, and here's the thing, right? Because number name brings up, it's like, well, most face think in terms of thousands of years, not millions. Here's the thing about that, though. Not necessarily true.
No, that is not necessarily true.
Not necessarily
the Christian
true.
religion only thinks in terms of like thousands of years.
And I really always hate to say this, because when you really sit down with the Bible, when you really sit down with it, and you really just pay attention to what Jesus is saying as a ministry of the human spirit, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool guy. His fan club has fucked up the faith he tried to start very badly.
Oh yeah.
And I always feel bad about talking shit about Christianity, because how to put it, in my head it's one of those things of like, look, there's the Christianity that is like the organizations in the church, and then there's like the Christianity that is like the message that the man tried to spread, and I'm like, these are not equatable.
Yeah. Well, when it specifically comes to Christianity, there are two things that I say, and I say them both snidely and earnestly, which is A, the types of mind-altering substances that exist in that area of the Middle East do not create a sense of timelessness.
No, it's a sense of apocalyptic.
Yeah. It's a sense of things ending. It creates a sense of things ending, which can still be a good thing, but it's just not what those drugs do. The other thing is that Christians are bad at math. They're not the Muslims. They're not the Islam. They're not the Muslims. The Muslims were actually really, 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 really good at math. And their concept of, they had a much better concept of numbers. But for some reason, Christians love to use numbers they're the ones that really got into numerology. I don't know why.
It's probably not. If there is an answer, it's one of those things of, oh, it's several things like stringing together over time. It's probably not a.
Yeah, you know. I don't think that I don't know. I'd have to really look into it, but I don't think Islam is as into numerology as Christianity is. I know that Judaism is really into numerology.
No, but Islam is into numerology.
Yeah,
Islam is into numerology, but it's also into so many other things at the same time.
Yeah, because they were also like they were really heavily into mathematics and all the things that involve mathematics, like without the Islamic world, there's no algebra, there's no astronomy. Just flat out, there's none of that. Like, they knew the Earth was round before anybody else, or at least in the area.
Have you ever sat and just looked at the highly complicated structure that is the early salat sundials to indicate the different prayer times throughout the day? It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful combination of geometry, physics, and ideology.
Yeah. The obsession with time and geometry is built right into the practice. You know. Whereas for some reason with Christianity, numbers were always magic. In a way that they just weren't for the others. So that's why I say part of it is because Christians are bad at math. Now, that's only somewhat of an answer, because there is a culture that is fantastic at math, and it is lousy with numerology, and that is the Chinese.
It very much is your spring under there? Is that what that is? Hold on, I may have to rescue a toy. Is that why you keep coming over to the? Oh my god! Oh fuck! Did you knock something under here or no? Or are you just staring at shit? Which is it?
Oh, he's a cat. He's just staring at shit.
Oh, were you trying to get the roll of tape? Yeah, you're trying to get the roll of tape. Okay. Sir, that's my phone wire. Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things that frustrates me is that why Chinese myth was just as deep. Numbers are super important in the Chinese, everything.
Yes.
Including the magical systems, including the religious systems. Numbers are both a science and an alchemy. You know, it's very, 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 very interesting, and it's very weird, and it goes in weird directions. One of the eternally frustrating things. Okay, how can you tell a hotel is owned by Chinese people? It has no fourth floor. Because like Western
Shin.
people in the number 13.
Because Shin.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because 4 and 4 are 4 and death.
Oh, I was saying the Japanese one, which is
okay. Yeah, the Japanese one's the same. It's a similar deal. They sound so much alike You know, so one of the things I thought is really funny is that there was an infamous mob in San Francisco called the Gang of Four. Now, the first thing that you'll notice if you go into the Gang of Four is that there are more than four members, because they're the Gang of Four because it sounds like the Gang of Death.
F.
You know, but you use the four because that puts the fear. That puts the fear in people. Because it's saying death. It's like saying death but not trying so hard, right?
Hey, may I kidnap you and show you to the people real quick? Just real quick. Just real quick. I love you. I'm gonna scoop you. I scooped you. I did the scoop.
Oh, little kitty. Look at him. He's looking down there. He's looking down there. How about the crazy 44? Would that sound cool or too much? No, that sounds like something a Chinese person would come up with. You know? Well, like an example in Japan, a great Japanese example is Yakuza, which I believe literally translates to 687, which is like a winning hand in a dice game.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. Oh.
You know, like, why is it the 7 golden dragons? Because 7 is a heavenly number. You know, that's the number of heaven. So
yes.
You're invoking that. You're invoking, you know, fortune itself.
By the way, I just realized why I brought up the whole. I had a thing I was going to say, which is like why I brought the whole like Christianity thing. And because this relates to because relating to the whole like will most faiths think in like thousands versus millions, blah blah blah. I hate to say it, but it's absolutely true. The fervor of the Christian church in its spread across the Mediterranean, I'm not saying that Western people should not be fascinated by Eastern mysticism. As technically a Western person who participates in Eastern mysticism, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I will say that there were various traditions in the West that got just as deeply philosophical and symbolic.
Oh yeah.
And they were very much destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, do you know the story of Alexander the Great seeing Nataraja for the first time?
No.
So you know the symbol of Shiva Nataraja, like as Lord of the Dance, like dancing in like the burning ring of fire?
Yes. Of course.
So when Alexander the Great's campaign went into the Indian subcontinent, the first time him and his men saw the great temple of Shiva, and they saw this amazing bronze statue of him as Lord of Dance, timeless, affecting all things, the supreme reality of nothingness and oneness and all things at the same time, dancing in this. They saw him and recognized him and called him by the name they knew him in Greek. They called him Dionysus.
Oh.
They recognized this symbology and they called him that. And actually, to be perfectly honest, there is a great possibility that aspects of what we consider Shiva and aspects of what we consider Dionysus come from originally the same proto-Indo-European deity. You know, kind of like how Pan and Pushan, which is a Hindu nature deity, which is a face of Lord Shiva, come from the same. I cannot pronounce what the Indo-European god's name is, because it's only written, I've only seen it written in Linear B, and I can't fucking read Linear B. but I think it's like Pushan or Pushan, something like that. But or Panshin, something like that. But there is a lot of archaeological evidence to suggest that these two are initially the same thing. So yeah. And here's the thing, if you really think about Dionysus's like mythology, especially in his proper mystery cult, and then you think a lot of like tantric Shivite symbolism, you start going, oh, wait a minute. For God's sake, they both ride a white bull.
Oh yeah.
They both ride a white bull. They both come as lords of vegetation, lords of ecstatic dancing. They come with screaming attendants playing drums and holding fires. They both say, come with us into the dark places at night, have this substance and look deeply into your psyche and see the truth of reality. They both like the Dionysian mystery cult and like Shivite Tantra are very much different flavors of the same vibe.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's well, it's kind of interesting what happens when you're the kinds of things that you influence when you're centrally located.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? That's what's so fascinating about the probability of the proto-Indo-European model, because it's just this whole thing of like, wow, there was like this kind of basic mythology that started in this central point and just kind of migrated outward in different directions and shifted in different ways over time. It's fascinating. It's also really interesting to consider, like, a fun one that for some reason not a lot of people know. Pan and Hermes were the same god at one point. Pan Hermes is like the name Pan Hermes is like a name that we find in that we find in the Linear B scripts of the Mycenaean Greek age. It's actually like really interesting, because so Pan used to be a lot more broad, because he's not like from that like that Pan comes from like from Acadia, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Acadia, before he like gets to the rest of Greece, when he comes up in Acadia, he actually had a lot more going on, which makes sense because Acadia, especially at the time period, is much more rural and much more agrarian. So having your pandemonic nature god like have more going on makes sense. In fact, yeah, and so like Hermes is actually made of attributes that used to be included in Pan, but when it gets to like the rest of Greece, like, how to put it, Athenian society goes, oh no, we can't, they split them to make it more palatable for the city slickers, essentially. Which is very fascinating. And here's the thing: this also, we know that this is most likely true because beyond the fact that like names like Pan Hermes or Pan of the Herms is like a thing that we see in the Mycenaean, but also remember how I said that Pan and Pushan come from the same like Proto-Indic deity?
Yeah.
If you look at Pushan over in like the Indus Valley, Pushan as a deity, you look at it and go, this seems like a weird combination of Pan and Hermes into one being. Which is most likely what Pan was originally in Acadia, but then they split them into two different deities to make it like more like palatable for certain groups of people. And fun fact, Hermes' name originally comes from a marker, which is that have you ever seen, like, in ancient Greece, there used to be like these kind of marker stones, like these little obelisk like style marker stones, like along roadways and shit. Are you contemplating what's going on?
A little bit, yeah, contemplating it.
But do you know what I'm talking about? Like the road markers in ancient Greece?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these were called herms. These were called herms, and these were called.
Okay. So Hermes is literally the god that walks along the path.
And traditionally, the god that ruled over all of them, because many of them have like phalluses built into them, so it's like a masculine deity,
right?
And the name in Mycenaean Greece that these are of the deity that resides over these is Pan Hermes, Pan of the Herms.
Pan of the Herms. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So just as Mycenaean Greece like falls and Hellenistic Greece starts to pick up, basically like Pan and her, like basically they just take all those elements that made up Hermes and separate him from Pan and make him his own deity.
I'll have to look into that.
You know, it's kind of like how Aphrodite is Ishtar.
Yeah. The relationship between Aphrodite and Ishtar and things like that. That's another like weird one. So much of how the gods relate to each other starts to make a lot more sense when you realize that usually a pantheon is created after the fact. You know, people don't like all of a sudden come up with a pantheon and then just say, yeah, all these gods are related. They create a god and then they run into other people who have another god. They get incorporated together, and once there are enough of them and enough time passes, somebody decides to basically do the Crisis of Infinite Earth and make one continuity that puts them all together.
And that's why Herodotus and Orpheus hated each other.
Yeah. Yeah, who was it who actually did the Theogony?
I think it is Herodotus, isn't it?
No, it's Hesiod.
Hesiod. Okay.
Hesiod.
That's why Hesiod. That's why the Hesionics and the Orphics fucking hate each other.
Yeah. Because like most of what we assume about the Greek gods actually comes from Homer and Hesiod. You know, which was with Hesiod's Theogony is like the one that actually establishes the canonical like creation myths and the Titans and like all of that jazz. Whereas before they were just kind of like separate and there was an informal relationship surrounding all of them. You know, Hesiod formalized it. You know, and then you got some of the Eastern religions that decide to get rid of God, answer the question by just getting rid of Godhead entirely. Which I mean, what a fucking idea, man! Like that had to be that's brass balls. Just be like, no, there are no gods. But what about all the gods? Oh yeah, they're real. But well, wait. But you just said there are no gods. Yes, I did. But we're confused. Meditate on it, my son. It shall all become clear.
Shut the fuck up. Have a piece of candy. Don't question.
Yeah. Don't question this. Like the hell, just, you know. But I don't understand. Well, then I think you should meditate on it. That's what I tell everybody. You know.
Let's see. So where did the proto-Abrahamic God come from, and by extension, the concept of a Holy Spirit? Like,
Oh, okay. Those are actually
So,
two different questions. Those are two different questions because they come from two massively different time periods.
so the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
the
we know when the Holy Spirit was created.
the Shekinah, which is literally Ashira, who is Yahweh's wife. Yahweh didn't have a wife. Yes, the fuck he did.
Yeah, there was
Yes,
an
the fuck he did.
argument over. Basically, it comes out of the Council of Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea is the one that basically formalizes the idea of the Holy Spirit, because they didn't want a woman involved in it, because up until that point, the Holy Trinity would have been God, the Mother of Heaven, and the Christ. Jesus, the Jesus. That would have been the Holy Trinity.
Maybe we wouldn't have as much misogyny in the religion if we had kept the Holy Mother.
We definitely.
I mean,
There would have
sense
definitely have been more of a place for the feminine within Christianity had that not happened.
And I'm not talking about the way that the Catholics did with
the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. No. I mean legitimately having her as part of the Godhead.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But there were like a lot of arguments, and for some reason, the Christians of the Council of Nicaea were very, very, very anti-woman. And so they had to come up with this idea that would fill in that space that removing the Queen of Heaven would leave. Because that's a big omission. So they came up with the idea of the Holy Spirit, largely cribbing from the Gnostics and the concept of the Sophia, which is a spirit, but it is a feminine spirit. Like, explicit in Gnosticism, it's explicitly feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of like, well, could we call it this and not have a woman involved? And that's kind of what they all kind of settled on. To be fair, Council of Nicaea was not happy with this answer, but it was all they could agree on.
It's like, could we just have it as Spiritus Sancti instead? Could we?
Yeah. Now, where does the Abrahamic God come from? Who? Okay, so
if we return to the land of Canaan.
Yeah. If we return to the land of Canaan and points earlier, you find a god named Yahweh, called Yahweh, or something similar. Because the language is different.
He's a god of war and thunder.
Yeah, war and thunder. He's not actually a very popular god. But somehow, and this is one of those like luck of the draw kind of things, really. Somehow, his tribe, his people, write a little thing called the Torah.
Well,
I mean, this is massive oversimplification.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because basically, what everyone here has to understand that in the Palestinian region, because the entire fucking region of the Levant was called Philistin or Palestine.
Yeah.
The entire fucking thing. Oh, but wasn't that it? Literally, if you look at the ancient kingdoms of Israel and the ancient kingdoms of Judah, like next to each other when they both still existed, that is still only a third of the landmass. There is 2/3 of the landmass left. Israel existed in Palestine. That is just a historical fact. I am not going to sit here and argue the legitimacy of an entire ethnic group of people.
Right.
But but yeah, so if you look at the entire like Palestinian like Palestinian like region, each of like these tribes of people who make up like the Canaanite like the Semitic Canaanite
Yeah,
peoples, because
yeah,
a lot of people forget this, that Arabs are also Semitic. It gets weird.
yeah,
But
yeah. The people we call the Hebrews was a specific branch of
yeah,
Semitic people.
yeah,
You
and
know.
each of these cities and each of these tribes have one of the gods of the pantheon as their patron. The Hebrews, they were under the patronage of Yahweh specifically. And throughout their history, they start this whole thing of like, you know what? Our God's the best one. And here's the thing, we won't blame them for that because a lot of civilizations do that.
Yeah, yeah. But like it seems like it seems like what happened, and this is what I mean by like it was luck of the draw. That was the group that ended up kind of dominating the area. They kind of dominated the area through all the normal methods. War. Some people some tribes just died off, through like disease and famine, and they were the ones kind of left standing, as being, the big one. And so, they spread out for a long time until and fast forward a few thousand years, they inspire Christianity. That's kind of how that's a really, 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 really like dumbed down version of how it happened. So basically, what was it? Luck. Just dumb luck.
And even then, it's kind of interesting because so Jack, you know how what we recognize as as part of the Old Testament, it would technically in the Hebrew Bible, it would be like in the Tanakh,
Right.
the long list of like, and then the Hebrews came upon these people and slaughtered them and took their land, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Most of that did not happen.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah.
It's like, in fact, actually, most of Exodus is either is probably completely fabricated.
Yeah.
Unless, which is weird because they had Babylon,
which happens later.
Yeah. Okay, good point. Yeah, that does happen later. But
yeah, that literally only happens after like the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah are like established as like territories.
Yeah, but it's just so weird to me that there is literally no evidence of anything Exodus like ever happening in Egypt.
Yeah, like
to the point that they didn't even have Hebrew slaves.
Yeah, and also most likely the Hebrews did not fight Jericho.
Yeah.
Most likely none of this happened. And if people, and now some people might be out there going, why the fuck would you write a history of you slaughtering a bunch of people that you never fucking slaughtered? Why would you do that? Well, because this is actually a thing that we actually see a lot of in ancient mythologies, is whenever a group of people gets mobilized enough and infrastructured enough that they're trying to create like a unique identity for themselves, they write fake histories.
Yeah.
To give their new
to give it legitimacy.
Identity.
Yeah.
Well, hi. Rome did this. It was called the Romulus and Remus story. That didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, nowhere close.
I don't care how much you love the I don't much how
I don't care how much Wolf Titty you sucked. Didn't actually happen.
I don't care how much you love the fucking Jungle Book, okay? A she-wolf did not suckle 2 babies until they were grown men in the woods and somehow came to Rome speaking perfect Latin. No, that did not
fucking happen. That's gotta be, oh God. Well, here's another thing. This is another thing that's important to remember. The Hebrews did not just have one God for the longest time. We don't know when it happened because, it gets fuzzy. So Moses on the hill, right? This is the moment Yahweh becomes the God of the Hebrews, essentially. The Torah, neither the Tanakh nor the Bible couch it this way. But it's very clear that there was some sort of split between the worshipers of Yahweh and the worshipers of Baal. Why Baal?
Oh,
he's the golden calf.
Yeah, he's literally he's a male god of I hate saying fertility because it's virility when it's men, but he is a male fertility and virility and harvest god. He is very important to a lot of people because people really like to fuck, drink, and they love to be able to eat fucking food.
Yes.
So he gets very important.
Yeah, he becomes really important, but his cult is eventually like overthrown by the cult of Yahweh. That's what the whole like Ark of the Covenant, New Testament, not New Testament, but 10 Commandments. That's what that whole thing's about.
613, but yes.
Yes.
But it's interesting, like the 613 mitzvahs of the kosher code of conduct that gets brought up in the books of Moses. It's like, what is all of this? Well, I know that people really like to use like the notion of, oh, this was for health related reasons because eating pork in the desert is a really bad practice. I'm like, partially. It's also, so some of it is for health concerns, but the majority of it is the Hebrews trying to carve out a unique identity for themselves. They are looking around at their nearest neighbors and looking at what their religious ritualism is, and creating a new ritualism for themselves that gives them a distinct appearance and a distinct action that holds them separate and apart from their neighbors. They're trying to create a unique ethno-national identity for themselves. It's why the Hebrews are the chosen people of Yahweh. It's not meant to say that the Hebrews are better. It's not trying to say any of this. It's trying to say that you are uniquely the people who do this. Now, I find it very interesting how Jewish mysticism post collapse of the temple, how that has reinterpreted being the chosen people of Yahweh being the notion of no, we have to be the most moral people on the planet so that when God's kingdom is established, we're going to have the responsibility of showing other people how this shit works. So we gotta be the, like, why do we suffer so much? Because we have to be purified more than anybody else. We're going to have the seal of the priesthood on us. We should be held to a higher standard. And I'm like, that's a fascinating self-deprecation.
Yeah. There's a lot. Did the Yahweh worshippers not like fun and farming? Well, probably a better way of putting it is like a lot of that stuff comes later.
Well, here's the thing, right? Well, and also here, there's a podcast I listen to sometimes that's conducted by an Ashkenazi rabbi and a Sephardic rabbi, and they were having a discussion on their podcast not too long ago where the Sephardic rabbi was like, I'm not trying to be an ass, but I've noticed that like anytime I go into like an Ashkenazi like shul, everything's very somber and solemn. Everyone has to be very quiet. There's very strict rules and everything. You go into like a Sephardic shul and like people are arguing and debating and shaking their hands. Children are playing and running around and screaming. The wives are discussing things. Like, we still have all like the Middle Eastern food and everything. So it's a different vibe. And the Ashkenazi rabbi replied and went, well, of course, because the Sephardim and the Mizrahim, you only had to really deal with like the Moors and the Ottomans and the Muslims. And that doesn't really become a conflict until the Zionism movement in the 20th century. However, the Ashkenazi, we had to deal with the fucking Christians for over 500 years. Why do you think we're so somber?
By the way, there's a really good series of videos on a channel called Esoterica. If you
he's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
If you go to YouTube and look and just type in Esoterica Yahweh, you'll find a bunch of videos, most of them done by this one guy who I don't know if he's a rabbi, but he's
he's not a rabbi. He is a practitioner. He is a practitioner of modern Orthodox Judaism, but he's
not a rabbi. Okay.
He is a doctor of esoteric philosophy and arcane history. Though, like he is a doctor of these things.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's really good, and he can give you a lot of detail into like Yahweh, how his cult started. And like, there's literally a video all about how his cult came to dominate and how he became the god of the Israelites. Half of which I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a dense 45-minute like lecture on
that covers like 3,000 years of history.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, but it does. So yeah, the main part I remember is it was actually kind of luck of the draw.
Because it's actually interesting if you read their Old Testament, if you get past the list of things that you're not supposed to do, if you get past that point and get into like other shit that God says to the Hebrews, there's a lot of celebration. There's almost a reason to drink wine for fucking everything, because remember, in tradition, in the ancient Israelite religion and in rabbinical Judaism, which comes after the ancient Israelite religion, in both of these like religious movements, how do you celebrate and bless something? Usually by pouring wine, saying a prayer over the wine, and drinking about what's happening, and then dancing and singing. This is traditionally what is supposed to happen. Hey, we had a new baby. Wine! It's like, hey, my business is doing well. Wine! There's a lot of reasons to drink and dance and sing. Christianity, you dropped the ball.
Oh my God.
Really dropped the ball on that one. Really sad.
Oh man. Who? Oh God. I've just discovered something horrible. Morgue is still going.
Yeah, no, he's completely someone at work came up to me and said, "Hey, do you ever watch this YouTube channel with this guy named Morgue? Like, I think you might find him fascinating." And then I went, "Wait, hold the fuck up, because here's the thing. All the shit that you called him out on, all those videos are gone."
What did he? So what has he changed to?
Oh, now he's just like talking about occultism and shit. He's not trying to start his own religion anymore. That's
probably for the best.
And so here's
Look,
the thing.
it's starting your own religion. It's cute. It's cute. We all try to do that, right? You know, it's cute.
Some of us succeed.
Yeah, some succeed, but for the most part, it's a cute little distraction that we take ourselves on. You know.
And so here's the thing, this coworker I was talking to was like, oh yeah, because he talks about some interesting things. I'm like, let me tell you about how this channel started. And I told the tale. I told the whole tale, and my coworker went, I don't think I can watch him anymore. And I went, good.
Yeah, it just that I still got that book, by the way. I still got his book. It still makes no sense. You know?
How to put it, before we saw Morg for the first time, I didn't know that what I needed in my life I didn't know that what I needed in my life to let me know that I'm not too far off the fucking deep end is like a straight occultic version of Jeffree Star. But there it was.
Yeah. It exists. You didn't need it, but it exists anyway.
Hey, sometimes God like shows
Is
you.
Morg? No, Morg is not the Emma Watson Christ dude. Different guy. Completely different guy. Morg is a guy I forget how I even ran into his video, to one of his early videos, and I did a response video of my own because it made me lose my goddamn mind, because it was filled with things that were just so patently incorrect I couldn't keep my mouth shut. You know, it's that thing that I have where someone was like, yeah, you just really have a low tolerance for stupid. And I'm like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I've tried. I've tried to create a bigger tolerance for stupid. But I can only seem to make that work in terms of pure entertainment.
I came across
once something tries to be real, I'm just as angry as I ever got.
I think I have a similar issue, which is that I came across a video the other day because it's the 7-day Dionysia. I'm looking up like more things about him because I'm like, no, like, how to put it, there's not a city celebration going on near me, so part of what I should do is reread things and rewatch things. Tomorrow I'm trying to have friends over to smoke weed and watch a mixture of tragedies and comedies because he is the god of theater and this has to happen. But so I ran across a video. I think it was called The Cosmology and Theology of the Orphic Mysteries or some shit like that. And I was just like, oh, well, I love the Dionysian and Orphic Mysteries. Is this perchance a new like take on it or something? Or is there new information that's come out? Because, that's the great thing about archaeology. They're always finding shit. And it's like, I don't know, it's like some fucking channel that calls themselves like I don't know, it's like the modern hermetic. It's some type of thing where they're calling themselves a hermetist. They're calling themselves a hermetic.
A hermetic. Okay, yeah.
And I start watching it, and I'm like, this guy is speaking as if he's the narrator of the Kabbalion. It's a lot of that overtly pompous, flowery language that medieval hermeticists using. Yeah. And I tried so hard. I was like, no, come on, like, okay, he's a little full of himself. He hasn't talked about anything of substance yet, so we don't know. He could actually know what he's talking about, but still have his head up his ass. This is a possibility. There are pompous people who do unfortunately know what they're talking about at the same time. It does happen. And then he started to talk about how the works of Orpheus should be interpreted. And he said the phrase, we shall look to the interpretation of the Platonists, truly the only philosophical wisdom that is like truly the only school of philosophical wisdom intelligent enough to truly understand Orpheus. And I was like, nope.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
And I was like, nope, absolutely not. I am not going to listen to an interpretation of the Orphic mysteries through the lens of Platonics.
Yeah.
Of Platonic Hermeticists. I'm like,
that sounds terrible.
You're a Platonic Hermeticist. Why don't you just tell me that you hate Jews and don't have sex? Just say it. Just say it. Say I hate Jews and ethnic minorities and I don't have sex. Just say it.
Oh my God.
Well, Plato was one of the good. Fuck off.
Fuck off. Fuck Plato. I hate him.
I see your Plato and raise you a Diogenes.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
I raise you a Diogenes. Hand me that chicken so I can throw it at you. Behold a man!
Yeah, not that Plato did not. All right, let me put it there. As much as I cherish some of the concepts Brother Plato has fucking brought to the fore, Buddhism did better.
Oh God, it did.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, Buddhism did better.
I don't understand how because here's the thing that got me, right? In the introduction to this video that I'm listening to, he talks about how Orpheus and his philosophy is praised by people like Pythagoras and praised by people like Diogenes, which is true. Diogenes referred to him as the prince of prophets, and Pythagoras absolutely adored the Orphic cultism. He adored it. But I don't understand how you can value Pythagoras and then be a Platonist. Plato wanted the Pythagoreans burned at the stake.
Yeah, he did. If you read the Republic, he makes specific reference to this.
Yeah, because Plato thinks that math and art is witchcraft.
I know.
Plato is legitimately scared of math.
Yeah.
Because he's an idiot. He's a fucking simpleton.
Yeah,
I could argue around Plato for days.
It's so weird. Like, what was everyone's like? What was the Greek fear of numbers, man? I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. But like, yeah, they were really afraid of the Pythagoreans. The Pythagoreans were their version of witches. Like, and what did the Pythagoreans do? Well, they did a lot of crazy stuff.
And I want to point out,
but they primarily dealt in geometry.
And I want to point out,
music.
Oh yeah, music theory. They
created music theory.
Yeah, or more specifically, they created what becomes like the Western concept of music theory.
Yeah,
because both China, India, and Saudi Arabia have their own.
Yeah, they all came up with it. Came up with it through different means, but
like they measure and meter it in different ways and things like that. But yeah, like they came up. The Pythagoreans like came up with like Western music theory. And I want to point out, Jack is absolutely right about they were ancient Greece's version of witches. Man. But and I want to point out that is true. But also, ancient Greece legitimately just had witches. So the Pythagoreans were more witches than witches, which is insane.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, they had both the modern concept of like, like the weirdos who hang out in the woods and maybe put too many herbs together and worship forests and shit. They had those too. But the Pythagoreans, for some reason,
they were alchemists.
Yeah. Like, they were terrified of them.
They were wizards.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They were considered.
They thought they legitimately had, like, legitimate magic powers. and I don't really know why. Just numbers, evil, like the only thing I can think of it is like, what if the upside it's like, what if the upside down cross really just meant 12? Like people would just see these weird Arabic numerals and just think witchcraft. It's probably something like that. Counting, everyone knows you can only go as high as 10 in counting. What is this 11 you speak of? 0,
Witchcraft.
a number which is nothing, madness.
Demons, I say.
Say. 2 + 2 = demons. Yeah.
And then I'm not really sure. I'm not really up to snuff on my ancient Greek philosopher beefs, because I know that literally every Greek philosopher hated every other Greek philosopher. It's just a fact. They just fucking hated each other so much. But I forget if Plato and Aristotle had beef. I really don't fucking remember.
Plato, let's see. Plato was the student of
Socrates.
Yeah. I don't know what his relationship to Aristotle was. I can't remember.
But I can just imagine. Actually, wait, here's a question. Let's see. Did Plato have... I'm literally going to say have beef with.
I know he hated Homer. But Homer was not a philosopher. Homer was a poet.
While Aristotle was a student of Plato's for 20 years and initially respected him, they later disagreed on fundamental philosophical issues, including the theory of forms, leading to Aristotle developing his own more empirically grounded metaphysics. Okay, so they were opposed to each other on a philosophical level.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But no, I could just imagine that because I was, hey, I'll tell you what I'm a student. I'm a like a bit of a shot rub student of that Platonists fucking can't stand.
No.
Aristotelian logic.
I am not familiar.
Oh, are you unfamiliar with the beauty of syllogisms?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. So, Jack, what is the difference between logic and reasoning? Because they are not the same. They are
not. Yeah, no, they are not the same. Logic is, reasoning is the ability to essentially put two things together or separate them into two different parts, whereas logic is intended to be factual.
Flip that.
Oh.
So logic is literally, because there are different forms of logic. Logic is, but there's different models, I should say. Logic is
a method.
Yes, logic is a method to archive and analyze statements.
Yeah.
Reason is the ability to have the knowledge and wisdom to find truth and fact amongst statements. So for instance, when Ben Shapiro says stupid shit and you sit and you go, wait a minute, that's not right. And I know it's not right because, and you start pulling from things, you're using reasoning.
Right.
You're using reasoning. Now here's the great thing. Something does not have to be factual or reasonable to be logical.
Correct.
For instance, if a logical argument is both valid and sound, it is most likely also reasonable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so Aristotle was the guy who came up with so Aristotelian like logic. This is like the basic like two premises, one therefore conclusion type of argument.
Okay.
You know, like for instance, if I were to say, all cats are evil, Garfield is a cat, therefore Garfield is evil. That's, you know, the two premises, one therefore. This is like basic Aristotelian logic.
Right.
Now that logical statement is valid. It's valid because both the premises relate to each other, and the conclusion directly stems from the premise statements.
Right.
So for something to be logically valid, it does not have to be true or factual. It just has to follow its own internal.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring up Aristotelian logic is he made this thing called syllogisms, which is, have you ever seen the things where if you ever took like a logics class or like a basic philosophy class, like you may have, you know these, Jack, they're the really annoying formulas that go something like B is not P, A all A are F, therefore, you know, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
That's syllogism.
Oh, that's a syllogism. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Aristotle came up with. And the great thing about syllogisms is, this is what I find so fascinating, and it always works. Syllogisms, they take logic statements, they boil it down into essentially like numeric, like, because you've seen it, it almost looks like a math equation. And it almost looks like a math equation, and literally you just go through a couple steps and you can automatically tell whether or not the statement is logically valid. You don't even need to know what words the letters in the syllogism represent. You can just mathematically prove whether or not it's valid by putting it in this formula. So Aristotle figured out a way to make
syllogism. Yeah, okay. So a syllogism is basically a formula used in deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
literally the name of the formula that you use. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So literally Aristotle was like, nah, hold my fucking beer. I'm going to figure out a mathematic formula to deduce whether or not any statement ever is logically valid.
Okay.
To which Plato probably would have screamed witchcraft and run away.
Oh, types of syllogism: categorical syllogism, hypothetical syllogism, disjunctive syllogism. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Validity versus soundness. A syllogism can be valid but not sound.
Correct.
Okay. Valid is correctly structured. Sound is whether it's true or false.
Yeah, to figure out whether a logical argument is sound, one must use reasoning. Yeah. You know, it's like how no, it just is. That's just what life is. Never mind. But yeah, it's one of those things of just like, that's why I always think it's so funny when people are like, I'm a very logical person, and I'm like, I don't care if you've constructed a subjective reality that makes sense inside of itself. I don't give a shit. Do you realize what goes on outside? That is literally my question. I don't care if you're logical. Are you reasonable?
Someone's asking what you think of the Neoplatonists, which to me is like that's kind of
fascists. They're fascists. They're fucking fascists pretending that they're not fascists. They're fascists. Sucking on Franco's dick and licking Hitler's paw. They're fascists. Because Plato is where fascism comes from.
Yeah. I mean, well, the funny thing is Neoplatonism actually is fundamental to fascism. It's fundamental to a lot of other things as well. But this is where we get the idea. Neoplatonism is where a lot of things about Plato kind of get formalized, and not the least of which is that we live in an imperfect reality.
And Plato's answer to that was get rid of the minorities.
Yeah.
Hey, has anyone actually read Plato's Atlantis? Has anyone actually sat down and read it? Because let me tell you.
Holy shit, yeah.
Let me tell you what Atlantis is about, kids. Let me tell you what fucking Atlantis is about, kids. Atlantis is Plato. It's literally, I'm serious about this, because here's the thing. Atlantis as a mythological concept exists before Plato. It does. He then takes that narrative. He's the one that we have like the main source of it remaining from.
Yeah.
But we do have evidence that it exists as a story before him. Plato takes the story of Atlantis, makes it famous, and he's the one, and this, literally the entire fucking book boils down to this. Are you fucking ready? It's like, hey, you notice how fucking Greece has a lot of fucking queers and a lot of fucking ethnic minorities and a lot of non-Grecians and a lot of other religions and shit? Well, you know what? There was another civilization, a great empire called Atlantis, and they let that happen. And you know what happened to them? They fucking sunk into the sea because they had ethnic minorities and queers running around. That doesn't make any shut the fuck up. It happened.
Yeah. Basically, he wrote a fan fiction about a fable that was popular. And this is what he came up with.
Yeah, no, it's literally what his argument is. His argument is there were too many queer people and too many ethnic and religious minorities and too many people who weren't Grecians allowed.
And they had a magic metal called orichalcium for some reason.
Well, you know, you need that unobtainium.
Yeah. They had an unobtainium, and for Plato it was orichalcium or orichalcum.
Oh my god, no, Sun Wizard's response to my rant is great. Okay then.
You know? Do H.P. Lovecraft read a lot of Plato? I don't know.
That would require him
that
to
would require
philosophy.
reading more into his biography than I have.
It's really weird, right? Because, like, here's the thing. I know that H.P. Lovecraft started to change his mind about racism the last, like, 5 years of his life. But it was the last 5 years of his life. You know what I mean? It's like, it's too little too late. But what I find very fascinating about not Plato's racism. Plato's racism. Lovecraft. What I find very fascinating about Lovecraft's racism is Lovecraft is very much the embodiment of that fucking Yoda quote from the goddamn prequels. That one good quote from
fear leads to anger.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah, because literally, it's literally he was gripped by phobias. He was legitimately afraid of everything and everyone. And so it's really weird because, like, a lot of racism, a lot of like modern day racism that we see, it stems from things like, you know, like feelings of inadequacy and needing to put yourself above other people. It stems from anger marrying into bigotry. You know, like it stems from a lot of things.
That's on full display with Lovecraft. It's on full display.
Yeah.
You know.
But Lovecraft's racism is very interesting because it really is born out of a place of I am legitimately scared of everyone that's not me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really strange.
Yeah, he's very weird, but like here's the other weird thing about Lovecraft. Big supporter of suffrage. Very into women's rights. Very pro women's rights.
Well, yeah, but that's because he was raised by women.
Well, no matter the reason, it's interesting that he has that dichotomy to him. You know, like he believes women are equals, but
As long as
within the
they're right.
racial hierarchy.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah. You know, so you've got that, and that's really interesting. But yeah, you can see his fears in just the way he describes the old ones and the outer gods. You know, they look upon us as ants. You know, we're ants to them. And this is particularly horrifying to a white supremacist because you're at the top of your hierarchy, but that hierarchy doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you go any higher than that. Nobody cares. Even if it's that, and that's assuming it's true. Assuming it's even true.
Also very afraid of the ocean.
Oh, yeah. Clearly. He's if you look at very interesting guy. Very racist, very interesting.
Psychological basket case.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Very fascinating.
Oh, yeah. But like, what a fucking, I mean, but as I like to see, he did see white people as the top of the hierarchy, but that also means that white people is as good as humanity can do. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. You know, there's nowhere to go. We're the best, and we suck. I'll put the fear of the universe in ya.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, like he did acknowledge that he couldn't stand most other people in general. But how to put it, he very much had this notion of like humanity is horrible. The best part of the horrible is white people, but we're still horrible.
Horrible. Yeah. It's really interesting if you can like stand to look at it for a bit.
And yet he was so very supportive of like the inner circle of fellow writers that he cultivated.
Yeah.
It's like the only people in his life who he didn't like fear or hate.
Yeah, aspects of the suffrage movement had the same dichotomy. It was Sojourner Truth. I would have gone with Susan B. Anthony, actually. Like at the birth of the feminist movement, there's still a white woman pushing fucking black women away.
Well, that's what they're talking about because Sojourner Truth is like the dichotomy up like against Susan.
Okay. I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. The Jesus Christ, we're a fucking mess.
Well, yeah, we're all over the place. Yeah, we're all over the place, and I should probably like call it because my brain is getting a little.
When I said we're a fucking mess, I meant humanity.
Oh, humanity. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, without question.
Yeah, no,
without question, we are a fucking mess.
I often.
What is a man? A horrible little pile of secrets.
And I put him in a cage. I often feel bad for our friends who operate on a fifth and up dimensional level because they often look at us and go, "Oh my god, the fucking hairless monkeys are doing shit again."
I imagine they look at other intelligent beings look on us with about as much dismissal and fascination as we look at animals and particles.
Probably.
You know, like, because I feel like that would be it. Because we're clearly not pets.
No.
You know, we don't get enough attention. We don't warrant enough attention to be pets. But as like a little biological curiosity, I feel that that's what it is. Because I actually take the whole like apathetic God in what I consider to be a very neutral direction, which is like, most of us neither love nor hate ants. We just don't like it when they get in our food.
Mm-hmm.
Does this mean that we don't really care when we like, exterminate them? But we're not really doing it out of malice either. We just want to keep our grain stores free of them.
There's it's very interesting, the concept of like the apathetic God and things like this. Okay, I really believe deep down in my soul that part of the reason why we have like the philosophical argument of the apathetic God, or what was it, that fucking Greek edgelord statement of the existence of evil shows that either God is impotent or doesn't care, like whatever that fucking like Greek
Yeah.
Which, God, I fucking hate that argument so goddamn much. It's such like edgelord wank yourself off philosophy, and I hate it. But the reason in my opinion, the reason that whole concept happens is because Christianity did something that literally no one else ever did, which was a terrible idea. Had the notion that not only is there a oneness, not only is there a unified divinity, because other places have done that. Hinduism has the concept of a unified divinity that splits into fractures. Like the Tao is a unified force, ultimately. Yeah. Like, the Buddha mind is a unified, you know what I mean? Like, other places do, like several Native American traditions have the Great Spirit. Like, this happens. The thing that the Christians did, it's not the existence of one God that's the problem. It's stating that God is all good.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. It's like, Yogi, aren't you a religious person? Don't you believe that? No, I don't believe that. Do I believe that ultimately, on the highest levels of itself, is that God beneficent? I believe so, because I believe that by looking at myself, because I know that in my higher realms of consciousness, I have a mixture of not being karmically torn up about investment, but also being compassionate. So if that's anything to go by, if my individual consciousness is anything to go by, I can make that reflective logic that if there is a universal consciousness, its higher aspects are the most compassionate and understanding. That being said, it's a unified divinity. It therefore contains within itself everything.
Yeah, so the bad shit's there too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I actually often wonder if the idea of whole it's the absolute good part. Because if it's just the big one with everything, I can kind of in a weird way, I can wrap my brain around it. But I cannot, and this might be the Easterner in me, conceive of something which is only good.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
That makes no sense.
If you want to say that the good parts of it are the highest and most elevated parts,
those are the parts we love. Okay. At least I can wrap my brain around that.
Yeah.
And
if you actually want to say that the truest and highest part of this that makes the decisions for everything is beyond the dichotomy. That I can wrap my
Yeah,
head around.
yeah. I can kind of get behind that as well. But
Yeah.
like it being all good and have it, the thing is I hate
It's
the phrase, well, God has a plan. Not because it's inconsistent with everything else, but it is. But it is. But because I know what the truth of the statement is. And the truth of the statement is this. You have no answer for me. Yeah, you have no answers for me. And so you're saying this instead of saying, I don't know.
You know, exactly. I like, don't get me wrong. I like to say that, like, how can I put it? I like to say that I have faith in the natural unfoldings of things. I like to say that I have faith in that higher realm of being. But then I also go, I don't know what that answer is.
Yeah. For me,
I have a faith that there is an answer somewhere. I don't fucking have it.
Yeah. Because if you had the answer, you wouldn't have faith anymore. But that's kind of the logical. That's kind of the extension of it. People act as if to know is to deny faith, and I'm like, no. Why did you stop looking? You were supposed to keep looking for things, anything. You know, not necessarily the. You're acting as if faith is the answer to the ultimate truth. It's not. Faith is the persistence in believing that there is at least an answer.
I think it was Saint Clare, who was a very profound Christian mystic who she worked closely, like, in person with Saint Francis of Assisi while he was alive. But I believe it was her who said, Christ has no hands on this planet other than your hands. For your hands are the hands of Christ, meant to fix and heal the world.
Yeah.
So it's always one of those things of just like, well, God has a plan. Yes, he does. And part of that plan is you are a self-aware animal with reason. And you have the ability to help another living being.
Yeah, why is someone, why am I supposed to accept that it's part of the plan when my beloved pet dies, but when we're talking about the existence of gay people, all of a sudden God made a mistake?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, what the fuck is that? You know, like it.
You know, it's fucking wild. It's really fucking wild. But that's the thing, right? Like, something that all pre-Christian something that all pre-Christian religions, philosophies, mythologies, something that they all understood was that no, the God or the gods, they are not all good. They are all true.
Well, that's a nice way of putting it.
Well, that's the
they all illuminate some version of the truth.
Yeah, you know, like how to put it, like you know, is Zeus all good? Hell
no.
Is everything?
He is a terror. All right. The only reason he is not as bad as his own father is he didn't try to eat all of them.
No, he tried to eat one.
He tried to eat a few.
No, wait. He tried to eat his wife, and then Athena got birthed inside of him and split his head open, and he was just like, "Well, I'm not doing that again."
Yeah.
But because he had a wife before Hera, fucking weird shit. Anyway, but yeah, no, he's not all good. However, is all the shit he represents and is like the embodiment of true things? Yeah, they are. The sky, it sometimes gives you rain to grow your crops and sometimes throws lightning at shit.
Yeah. You also, if you want to, oh boy, And if you want to talk about there's a huge section in Plato's The Republic where they have to figure out how to justify Zeus being the only god.
So stupid.
Yeah, it's insane. And you find yourself going like, "Oh my god, this is what happened in Christianity. You got to be fucking kidding me." You know, it was a setup from the beginning.
It really fucking was.
Yeah.
It really
Monotheism is a fucking setup. You know, that's why it sucks ass.
That's why henotheism and omism are probably your best bets, folks.
So don't stop beating off.
Don't stop. That's not what that means, but okay.
Okay, I should probably go. I'm starting to get a little loopy. A little loopier than normal.
What?
I want to thank all of you for coming down and listening to us prattle on for 3 hours. Oh, man. We need help. We really need help.
Sure, we need help.
All right, you said normal. That's right. But I want to thank everyone for coming down. You coming down means hanging out means a lot to me. I want to thank Riggs for his generous donation. And I want to say, remember to send a happy birthday to Guru and one to Flashman, actually, since it will be his birthday soon, since it's recently been his birthday as well.
Yes.
And I want to thank Yogi for coming down. I really appreciate you fucking joining the stream as always. It's always a fun time. And until next time, everybody, which will probably be tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ave Satans, Disco Inferno, and remember to wash your ass. Hail Satan.